Welcome to the Mentor Podcast, where the most highly motivated entrepreneurs come to get their weekly dose of financial stability with host Ron LeGrand, as well as other nationally recognized thought leaders who will teach you how to get, grow, and protect your wealth.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Ron LeGrand coming to you with another in the series of Mentor Podcast designed to help you make more money, live better, build your cash flow, and retire filthy, stinking rich. And I have got a great guest on today's podcast that very well could catapult you from zero to beyond your wildest dreams in a very short time. His name is Bob Circosta, and he is a legend if you actually watch HSN and buy stuff on television, or even if you don't. If you're a guy listening to this, your wife certainly knows what I'm talking about. Welcome, sir. It's an honor to have you here today.
Well, Ron, it's a pleasure as always to speak with you and visit with everybody that follows you, and I'm looking forward to chatting here.
Yeah, gosh, it's been what, 50 years since we actually got together in person or something like that?
Boy, it seems like it, doesn't it? I mean, we need to get together again soon. I mean,
yeah, we do.
We're not getting any younger, you know?
Well, let me tell the folks how important you are here, and then I'll let you finish that because you're better qualified than I am. The guy you're listening to here today, folks, is a synonym for HSN, and helped create HSN. And over the past 40 years or so, golly, these are hard enough for him. I logged 25,000 hours of live selling on TV. God, I don't know that I'm going to live that long, Bob. Make 75,000 separate product presentations. Have you figured out how to do it yet?
Well, I'm getting on to it. It's starting to click.
Sold over $6 billion with a B in merchandise, and that's why they call you the TV's billion-dollar man. Look, I know this guy today, and the reason I've asked him to come on this podcast is maybe we can light you up when Bob tells you what he does and how it can affect your life. And I don't care who you are or where you're at or what stage of life you're in. Frankly, it makes no difference whether you're rich or poor, bankrupt, credit sucks or not. It's all irrelevant here. If you listen very closely, I think you're going to see an opportunity here that you've not heard before and will never hear again, except for this guy who literally is instrumental in building this thing. Guy's been on every television show there is: ABC, Good Morning America, NBC, The Today Show, 2020, USA Today, Wall Street, and numerous others. So let's get started, Bob, talking about, first, I'm going to let you talk now. What is it that you do, and how does it relate to our folks listening today?
Well, as you pointed out a moment ago, it started for me over 40 years ago. As a matter of fact, this is the 41st year. 41 years ago, I had the very good fortune to be there at the beginning of a whole new industry. I was able to help create something that never existed before, and it was called home shopping. And of course, today everybody has heard of home shopping. Many people, millions of people all around the world now participate in home shopping. But way back in 1977, that was not the case. And it started out on a small radio station in Clearwater, Florida, and then it went to the local cable, and then nationwide in 1985. But today, the way of shopping from the comfort and the convenience of your own home transcends countries, and it's in every country all over the world. And so I've been part of this industry for a long time, ever since the beginning. By the way, the first product we ever sold on the radio that started the industry was an electric can opener. We sold 112 electric can openers. And the owner of the radio station said, wow, I made more money from this than I would have from advertising. And that's what started the whole home shopping industry. But over the years, I've been able to participate in many different ways in this field. But what really pertains to all of those that are listening here today, the opportunity to be able to take whatever product you have and have it seen by millions of people at the very same time, and to be able to sell millions of dollars worth of products, or if you have an idea for something and maybe you haven't acted on that idea, I'm here to tell you it's time to take action. Because with all the products out there, believe it or not, HSN, QVC, all of the TV shopping channels, they need products.
Sure
And
they do.
so, Ron, I'm sure there are folks out there that have products or have an idea for a product.
Well, Bob, before we lose them, first of all, listeners, I don't want you to think you need to be some kind of inventor or something. You don't need to be a Thomas Edison here, because when Bob tells you some of the products that became smash hits, you're going to say, "Oh my God, I could have done that." What a stupid product, actually, in many cases. And then I want you to share some of the numbers with them if you can, Bob.
Oh, sure. Be more than happy to. And that's an excellent point. I mean, you are so right, Ron. I don't want anyone to think, oh, I have to have something already done, or, I have to be this inventor extraordinaire. You do not. You may know somebody. You may run into somebody at a party or a get-together that happens to have access to products, but they don't know how to get them out there, so I can help you. But you're right. I mean, some of the wildest products over the years. Had a guy who he was a father of two little boys, and he loved bouncing his boys on his knee. And so one day what he did, he designed the head of a horse, and he put that on his knee, and then the little boy got on the horse on his knee, and he bounced him up and down. And he called it the pony. That's what he called it, which was a great name for a product. All right. He went on the air, and in one day, he sold over 56,000 of these products. And then it was picked up by retail all over. So now it's all over the world, pony. But here's the point. You don't have to be an inventor. You don't have to be somebody who has been in this business for years. Let me tell you, it's there. I'm involved in a program right now at HSN. It's called American Dreams. And it's a program that HSN has dedicated to entrepreneurs, to people that know products, have products, what have you. And HSN is giving up their valuable airtime to be able to showcase these products. And I'm seeing people from all over the world come in with ideas and products and put them on the air. And the benefit, Ron, is just absolutely incredible. So no one should be excluded from this whatsoever.
So what did you just tell me, that HSN's got a program to where I can bring in a product, maybe a prototype idea without having to have it made before I go in the air?
Well, the prototype has to be screened a little bit, because they can't put a product on the air until they have, items to sell. So they have to have some quantity. But HSN has been able to lower the quantity that's initially to be offered. You can have as few as 500 products, 500 items, and do it that way. I can help you get from the prototype stage to the finished stage.
So it's a test, basically. They just sell out, and then they bring you back on at a later date if it works.
Exactly.
I like that.
But what an opportunity.
Yeah. That's reminds me of the Guthrie Ranker days when I did an infomercial with them. They were doing 20 at a time, knowing that only one or two of them were going to cut the mustard.
Yeah, so, you're right.
And I remember we went on the air. We didn't even have the product. we just took the order, but we didn't charge their credit card and told them we'd let them know when we get it. We just tested the market.
It's changed a little bit. You got to have the product.
Yep. All right.
So we send out.
I understand.
And then I do another show up in Canada every month, which is the live shopping channel up in Canada. And so I take the products that I find here and I give the distribution to the person who has the product up in Canada. So everybody's got to think worldwide. Don't think that this can happen. It happens every day.
In fact, I'll bet you that probably some of your best products were somebody that went outside of their normal area and got an idea and bring it back and changed it, or maybe even just changed the packaging on it, I would imagine sometimes. Or maybe change the market.
No question about it.
You told me a story about a guy who went to Home Depot and got some kind of putty or paste or something.
Exactly. Tell me it's because I also teach people how to what they call source products, because there are lots of people out there who don't know anything about, I don't have a product. How do I get involved in this? I know it's a powerful way to market, but how do I? So I teach people how to source products. And so this gentleman that I taught, it seems like it was just yesterday, and this had to be like 20 years ago. He's standing in Home Depot in the aisle, And he's calling me on the phone, and he said to me, Bob, I found the product. And I said, what do you mean, Gerard? And he said, everything you told me to look for, it's right here. It's on this shelf. And it was an epoxy resin material. And it would hold together things, and it was waterproof, and it would seal things, and it was highly demonstrable. You could really make it visual. And so what I did, I taught him how to get in touch with that company. They renamed it, put it on the air as another name. It was called Sticky Putty on the air. And we sold 12,000 units every month for years and years and years. And Gerard just got a check. He got a royalty check. That's what he got. I didn't even see him for 3 years, and I just sent him a check every month.
And speaking of that, you can actually do it two ways. If I bring you the product and you feel I can handle it, I'll go on the air.
Yes.
If I can't handle it, then you'll put somebody else on the air to sell my product for me.
And I'll go on the air in many cases, and I'll sell the product.
There you go. And of course, the split is accordingly. Well, tell me how that works. Okay, let's say I got me a hot idea that I think, you know what, we ought to start with what kind of products are suitable for HSN. Let's start.
Okay, a couple of things to keep in mind. Great question. When you're thinking about your product or maybe an idea for a product, number one, it's got to be demonstrable. You've got to be able to demonstrate it. It has to be a visual product, okay? Yeah. So you got to do, a simple example of something demonstrable is a dirty floor, and then you apply the product and you have a clean floor. That's a very simplistic demonstration, but you've got to be able to demonstrate, because one of the advantages of a TV shopping channel is you're able to bring that story alive. Okay, so that's one thing you got to keep in mind. Can you make it demonstrable? Does it appeal to an impulse? In other words, does it look good? Is it visually appealing to look at? Here's a big one. Here's a big question. Take a look at your product. Take a look at the idea that you have for a product and ask this question. Does it solve a problem? Does it solve a problem? If it doesn't solve a problem, then you've got a problem, okay? It's got to solve a problem that's universally accepted. It also has to be easy to use and understand. You can't expect somebody to go way outside their comfort zone in order to use what you have. And it's got to have mass appeal, because you're dealing, just on HSN alone, they're seen by, in 95 million homes in the U.S. So you can't go out there and have only 3 units to sell. You've got to have something that appeals to the masses. So if you hit that checklist, you've got a pretty good idea.
But you know what I'm thinking about that? I remember a time when I was watching that show and I saw somebody selling a piece of cardboard used to fold sweaters up. I was thinking to myself, they're selling friggin' cardboard.
I know her.
The price was.
I know her, and you are so right, and she's just a sweetheart. She has sold literally millions, and you put the shirt in a certain area and you fold the cardboard, and it comes out a perfectly folded shirt every single time.
How much did that cardboard sell for? $10 or so? I don't know.
No, I think it was $19.95.
$19.95.
Yeah,
for
on the air.
Cardboard. Okay. Bob,
Pony.
What's the number one selling product on HSN so far? Do you know?
Well, nutritionals do very, very well. Home type products do extremely well. Health related products do extremely well. I happen to have. I sell the longest running product in the TV shopping industry. It's been on almost 40 years, and it's a water filter. In fact, I'll be on shortly with it, but it's a water filter, and it's been on the air longer than any other product. And we have sold literally millions of them. So there are so many products that do extremely well because you have that relationship that's built in already.
Okay. All right. So I've got an idea for a product.
Yeah.
You've got a screening system to run that through. I'll let you talk about that later.
Okay.
Now, the process is getting the idea to you, or if I have a prototype, getting the prototype to you. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then you decide whether you think it's a pass or a play.
Right. Exactly.
And then
evaluation.
I imagine you take it to the committee to get an approval if it's a pass or a play, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Now, and I would imagine we're going to have to, I don't know, what price range are we talking about here, something on a sell at, between a what and a what?
Well, it all depends on the product category, of course. But if you can be $39, $49, $79, somewhere in there, you're doing pretty well. However, other products have done extremely well that are higher priced. It just depends on a lot of factors. So you bring me the prototype, and I'm going to advise you on A, does this fit in this medium? If it doesn't, that doesn't mean it's a bad idea or a bad prototype or product. It just doesn't fit because things have to sell quickly in the TV shopping business. There's a term that we use called DPM, which is dollars per minute. And everybody thinks the goal is to sell out of the product, and it isn't. The goal is to sell the most amount of products in the least amount of time. So,
right.
So you have to, I look at that. When I look at a product, I look at an idea, I'm thinking about, okay, how quickly will this be able to sell? So I give you all that information. I let you know that.
All right. And then if it's a go, talk to me, and let's talk to them about what they really want to hear us talk about, and that's the money side of it.
Sure. Okay, so what happens is once a network says, yes, we want that, then we have a whole process that my team goes through with the individual up till that point. But now the network says, okay, we want it, we're going to have it on, here's the date and everything like that. I issue a purchase order from my company to, let's say you, Ron, okay, you brought me the product. So I issue a purchase order to you. You ship in bulk to me, to my warehouse in Florida. I do all of the palletizing. I do all of the, all of that stuff, the shipping, the fulfillment, the pick and pack. I get it through the Q&A, QA, quality assurance. I get it through all of those things. I ship it directly to the network. I pay you 45 days after the product is aired. 45 days after it's on the air, you get paid by me.
Okay, and I assume that refunds come off the top before I get a check.
Well, it's very interesting that you bring that up, and that is the standard way of doing it. However, with American Dreams, HSN has really dedicated themselves to creating a platform and a forum for entrepreneurs, and they don't want to really have entrepreneurs risk what they're doing. So for the first time out, the entrepreneur is paid on every single piece, no matter if it sells, no matter if it comes back, and this is unheard of, by the way. It doesn't matter because it's a test, all right? Now, they may take a little higher margin the first time out because they're giving up their most valuable commodity, which is airtime. So they may take a higher margin initially, but the inventor is not out there's really no risk.
So what are you telling me? The first test is 500 pieces and I get paid for all 500?
You get paid for all 500. Even if we go on the air and sell 3, you get paid for 500. If 300 come back, you get paid for 5. That's the first time out. Yes, first time out.
All right. Well, give me the numbers. Lay them on.
Okay. Well, it's all going to be different on product category. If it's a skincare product, then you're going to make, the individual is going to get about 40%. That's going to be the margin, okay? If it's an electronic, the margins are a lot less on that. The markup is a lot less. If it's a home type item, you can really consider what they call keystone, which is 50%, all right? So you're going to make 50%.
Such as my
product.
Cardboard or your pony.
Yeah. So let's say that went on the air at $20. They're going to get it. The network is probably going to buy it for 10 roughly, and then out of that you're going to probably get $5, and then now you have to cover out of that. You have to cover the cost of goods in making the product and things of that nature, which I point out to everybody on the way, so there are no surprises.
And we better have a good margin, or it's not going to work.
Oh, exactly.
Words, we can't make a product for 80 cents and sell it for $1 and expect to make any money.
No way. No way.
Go in the hole, right?
And exactly. And what you have to keep in mind in this particular business is volume. Don't expect to make a lot of money per piece, but you're going to sell, let's say, 10,000 or 15,000 units. So it's volume.
So if it's an easy product, like a piece of cardboard, it's probably 50%. But I got to still produce it. I mean, that means I got to pay for the initial 500.
Right.
However, you're going to buy them
Yes.
from me,
Yes.
and I'm not going to have them made until you tell me you're going to put it on the air anyway, correct?
Right. Exactly. The time frame can be situated. Yeah. So I want as close to zero risk as I can possibly create.
All right. And now, after the test, it's a rollout. It's a go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do we have minimum quantities after that, or is that case by case?
Yeah, that's case by case, and the margins will go in favor a little more to the inventor or the entrepreneur because the test is over. But depending on the product category, returns may come into play after that. But then there's history. There's history on the product, so there's less of a risk. So it's going to change a little bit the more you do it. But the more you do it, the more you sell.
So if I got a $30 product, what's the most you think I ought to have in making that product and getting it shipped to you?
Initially?
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, we're through the test.
You're through the test. Okay.
Yeah, the test numbers are different than the rollout.
Right.
I'm interested in the rollout. That's where the money is.
Okay. Yep. I would say on a $30 product, maybe 1,500 to 2,500 pieces.
No, I mean, how many? What percentage of the price of the product should I have invested in the manufacturing and the shipping?
Oh, you should be around 10 to 20% overall of what it's costing you to make.
$3 to $6 in this case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I brought that up because people just totally misunderstand that. They
sure.
so enamored with a markup. Better have a large markup.
Yeah.
Like on a piece of cardboard. All right. So
exactly. It's not how much you sell; it's how much you keep. Right.
Correct. So in reality, I should be netting somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 25, 30%, give or take, of what the sales price of the product is. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, you're in that ballpark. Okay. Sure.
Okay. And what if I'm the one on TV doing the demonstrating? Do I get paid more?
If it's your product, you don't get paid more. You can hold out for a little more in your margin if you want to. But normally, if you go on and it's your product, then you're being compensated, that way. If you hire somebody else to do it, it will. Everybody works different. Some people work on a flat show rate, where it'll cost you maybe $300-400 to hire somebody per show. Others work on a per piece rate. I like per piece because I like to be incented. The more we sell, the more I make. So I will figure in on that margin a few pennies for me. Something like that.
Usually better I let the pros do it than me trying to become an overnight TV star.
Yeah, right? Yeah, but I mean, there's different schools of thought on that. The reality, the emotional tie into the story of how it all came about is very, very important. But I would tend to agree with you. Yes.
And whether I'm going to faint looking into a camera, that kind of thing.
Well, that's another thing I do. I train people how to do their pitch and how to sell on the air. So they have that training. But you're right. When that little red light goes on, a lot of people change.
So if I get lucky and I go in there and I sell, 10,000 products,
okay,
and I only make $10, let's do the math. How much is that?
Is that 100,000?
I think it's a little more.
Yeah, I think so too. It's not a bad day's work.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever the heck it is. And frankly, 10,000 is kind of somewhat close to a failure rate, isn't it, Bob?
Well, it depends how long it took to sell those 10,000. If you sold those 10,000 in 10 minutes, you're doing pretty good. If it took you 30 minutes to sell those 10,000, then that dollar per minute rate goes down. And that's how they judge everything, is on dollars per minute.
Yeah, but listeners, keep in mind, we're in front of millions and millions of people. 10,000 is an extremely small number.
Yeah. Right. No, you're right. Well,
Bob, what if I don't have the money to go manufacture this stuff? I'm a hit, but I just don't have the money yet.
Now is this after the test?
Well, before and after.
Okay. Before, it's a little tougher, a little more difficult before because there are a lot of unknowns. If you go out after the test and it's done well, you have a history behind you, and I can put you in touch with some people that can help you out. And I could do it on the front side too, but it's a little more challenging.
Yeah. It's small numbers on the front side anyway,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just talking here that I couldn't arrange for the manufacturer to get paid by HSN. Is that possible?
No, they deal directly with the inventor. HSN,
Okay.
like I would deal with HSN, or I would deal with the TV shopping channel.
Right.
So they
But
would be dealing with me. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
but you're buying the product from me, so I got to
Exactly.
just pay the manufacturer first. All right.
Exactly.
And
there's factoring out there. A lot of people factor, and so there are many different creative ways in which to do it.
in a nutshell, once we get past that first 500 products, we wouldn't need to worry about where the money's going to come from, because I'm assuming if we have a hit on that show, we're going to figure out this money thing, and you're going to get involved, aren't you?
Oh, you got that right. You got that. There'll be no hesitation there.
Now, but I'm sure with absolutely no remuneration on your part whatsoever, because of the kind of guy you are, you're going to do all of this for free. That's what I read in your bio here. Anyway,
I have this terrible habit of liking to eat, and
yeah, I know. Yeah, we all do.
Okay. I look at it as a partnership.
All right, well, look, I want to know how I can get more information from you. I know you got a book called Life's a Pitch. I love that title.
Right.
great title. So,
well, so many people over the years, Ron, so many people have come after me, publishers and everything, saying, would you write a book about home shopping? And I really wanted to write a book that could help somebody sell anything, anywhere. And more of a resource manual that people could keep going back to find out what they did wrong, or what are the components of a successful presentation, no matter if it's on TV or what. And I tell you what, I'm getting a lot of folks inquiring now about doing videos on Facebook and Instagram and all the social media platforms. Whether you're looking to a camera at an HSN studio, or you're looking into your iPhone and recording something to go on Facebook, you got to know how to create the need for what you have, how to sell what you have. So that's where the book really comes into play.
And Bob, do you still have training on this issue, like live training where they come in and learn how to do this?
All the time.
Yes,
all the time.
Okay.
Yep, sure.
Of course, they'll get that information if they contact you. What are you doing for them today? What do you want them to get from you today? Because I know you're giving away something. What is it?
Okay. Well, your team was nice enough to create a link. Okay. And the link is thementorpodcast.com/eval, EVAL. Now, here's what all that means. If you go to that, you'll have a form to fill out. Whether you have a product or an idea, it doesn't matter. Fill out the form. Last week alone, we had over 1,200 submissions.
Wow.
Okay, because we get product submissions all over the world now, because we market all over the world, in all the different shopping channels. So, but what I want to do for you and your listeners is that if you fill this evaluation out and you put in, Ron's name where it says, "How did you hear about this?" Just put in Ron, and we'll be able to track it anyway because of the .com and everything like that link. But if you are doing it as a result of this podcast, I'm going to make sure that your product or your idea, the evaluation goes to the front of the line. And that you'll be
nice of you.
Yeah, it'll be evaluated right away. My team will be on it immediately. Okay?
Well, that is gracious of you. And no, I did not pay him to do that for you.
That's right. No, I want to do it.
For being on.
Here's the bottom line, Ron. I'm looking for products.
I can see that. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, and I got a place for them.
You must have an army of people going through all these submissions, don't you?
Yeah, I have a great staff. Have a great staff, and they know what they're doing, and they do it constantly. They're looking at it and sorting through it and vetting it and all of that stuff.
Okay, so one more time with that link.
It's called thementorpodcast.com and then /eval, EVAL. Goes right to the link of the submission form. Just fill it out and hit submit, and we're on our way.
And I guess they can order your book, Life's a Pitch.
Yeah. If you want the book, you can you can get it there also. Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that. And
sure.
if you're listening to this and you haven't got my stuff yet, this is Ron LeGrand, and you can go to ronsdollardeal.com and get a free real estate course, $500 course for free. You can download it, but it's free. That's ronsdollardeal.com. Spell it out. It's all about how to make some quick money in real estate without using money or credit. And, of course, you can always go to my website, ronlegrand.com, and get all kinds of free stuff there, and including some new lessons we posted right on the home page. So, Bob, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this for us. It's been a while since I've heard from you, but it's always a pleasure talking to you. You motivate me to go find some products and send to you, man. I mean, I don't know why I haven't already.
Well, Ron, always a pleasure to chat with you, and I look forward to hearing from everybody who's tuned into the podcast.
All right. Well, thank you, and thank everybody else. See you soon.
That's all for this edition of the Mentor Podcast. To connect with Ron and learn how you can attain financial freedom, as well as up-to-date strategies to grow and protect your wealth based on today's discussion, go to www.connectwiththementor.com.